Beloved, have you ever noticed that your poverty does not reside in your house? Your poverty lives within you. Your pocket might be empty. That is merely an event. But your mind is empty. It is afraid. It is trembling. This becomes your destiny. And I want to tell you something with great love, descending deep within. Your fear itself is your poverty. Poverty is not the name of the absence of money. Poverty is the name of that state of mind which has started considering money as everything. Poverty is the name of that mind which fears every moment lest I lose it, lest it be snatched away, lest it decrease, lest I be left alone, lest my respect be gone, lest people think I am small, lest tomorrow. And remember, the mind that is filled with tomorrow loses today, and he who has lost today is truly the poorest of all. Let me lead you toward a very ancient truth. Man's entire life swings between two things, greed and fear. Greed says, I want more. Fear says, what I have will also go away. And between these two, you do not live. You merely drag yourself. Your body moves, your breath moves, your work moves, but life does not move within. Inside there is only the heartbeat of fear. This fear is poverty. And I know you must be thinking, but poverty is a reality. There is no money in the house, there is no work, there are responsibilities. I am not saying that outer life is a lie. I am saying that a greater crisis than outer difficulties is the inner fear. Because see, a man who has no money can become rich, but a man who has fear, no matter how much wealth he gathers, will remain poor, because security does not come from wealth. From wealth comes only the illusion of security, and no palace stands on the foundation of illusion. You have seen that the rich man also fears. He fears a lot. His fear is more cunning than your fear. The poor man just fears, I will not get it. The rich man fears, what I have will go away. So tell me, where did the fear go? It just changed its form. And the day you understand that fear changes forms but does not die, that day you will not go mad in the race for wealth. On that day, you will use wealth as a tool, not as a master. But right now, you are a slave to wealth. And another name for slavery is poverty. I want to tell you one more thing. Fear is always in the future. Fear is never in the present. Right now, at this moment, here, you cannot have fear. Right now, if you are listening to me and truly listening, then there is only listening. Either you are listening or you are fearing. Both cannot happen together. Fear comes when you move away from this moment to somewhere else. Fear is a distraction. Fear is unconsciousness, and therefore meditation is the end of fear, because meditation means being fully present right now in this moment. But you do not meditate. You do business even with meditation. You see, if I meditate, what will I get? Oh fool, meditation is not a deal. Meditation is not an investment. Meditation is not a shop. Meditation is simply a waking up. It is waking up from a nap, and the biggest nap is fear. Fear does not let you sleep, and fear does not let you wake up either. Have you seen that a frightened man can never sleep in peace, and a frightened man can never be awakened either, because courage is needed to awaken. That is why I say your fear is your poverty. And now I will show you in depth how this fear is born. Fear is born in society. Fear was not born within you. When you were born, you were not filled with fear. Look at a newborn baby. There is no fear in his eyes. He is completely naked, but there is no shame in that nakedness. He has come completely empty-handed, but he has no insecurity. He has nothing, and yet he is complete, because he has not yet become a mind. Fear comes only with the formation of the mind. What does society do? Society teaches you comparison, and comparison is the mother of fear. Society says, look, he is ahead of you. Look, he is earning more. Look, he is more successful. Look, he has a bigger car. Look, he has a bigger house. Look at his stature. And right then, a wound is formed within you. You say, I am less. And remember, the day you accepted that I am less, you became your own enemy. Because now your whole life will be spent in making less into more, and that will never be completed, because less is not outside. Less is an assumption within you. You are walking around carrying inferiority, and inferiority is the greatest disease of poverty. Inferiority says, I am nothing. And when you accept that you are nothing, then you try to get everything. But listen, He who considers himself nothing, no matter how much he acquires, an emptiness will remain in his soul because he has lost himself. The first cause of your poverty is your lack of self-belief. Where does trust break? From childhood, parents do not give love, they give conditions. They say if you become good, you will get love. If you pass, you will get love. If you get ahead of others, you will get love. So the child learns that love is not free. Love has to be earned. Love has to be won. And then for his whole life, that person starts collecting love like money. He carries fear into relationships. He carries fear into friendship. He carries fear into marriage. He carries fear even to God. And a man who has fear within him, how will love stay within him? Love is the flower of trust. Fear is thorns, and flowers do not bloom on thorns. Now understand one more thing. Fear is not just an emotion. Fear is a habit. You fear every day. You have learned the art of fearing. Fear has become your nature, and your society has kept frightening you. If you don't do this, then if you don't do that, then if you didn't earn money, then if you didn't get a job, then if people didn't give respect, then if you failed, then if you were left alone, then you have been brought up with the help of fear. Your education has happened through fear. Your religion has also made you bow through fear. You are told you will go to hell, it will be a sin, God will be angry. Fear, fear, fear. Fear, and a man who moves by fear can never dance. Remember, life is a dance, life is a celebration, life is a song. But because of fear, you do not become a song. You only become noise. Now I ask you, how much money did you earn in your life? This is a secondary matter. How many times in your life did you breathe without fear? How many times did you laugh openly? How many times did you laugh such that the thought, what will the neighbors think, did not occur? How many times did you cry such that you felt no shame even in front of someone? How many times did you embrace someone without fear? How many times did you say to your soul with full conviction, yes, I am. If this did not happen, then you are poor. And I am not telling you any long philosophy. I am talking to you about something completely practical. Understand how fear becomes poverty. What does a frightened man do? A frightened man does not choose opportunity. He chooses security, and that is the beginning of his poverty. In security, money never grows big. In security, life never grows big. In security, a man only remains alive. He does not live. A frightened man chooses a job because security is visible in it. A frightened man does not take risks, and he who does not take risks never rises high. A frightened man is afraid to learn something new, and he who stops learning starts dying. A frightened man does not speak his thoughts because what will people say? A frightened man does not show his potential because what if I failed? And thus gradually that man becomes small. He shrinks within himself. You have seen many people. They had talent, they had fire, they had brilliance. But fear turned them into ashes. And no matter how much wealth you place near ashes, ashes remain ashes. Money does not give fire. Fire comes from within. And the name of the inner fire is courage. What is courage? Courage does not mean there is no fear. Courage means walking despite the fear. And remember, the end of fear does not come by fighting. The end of fear comes by understanding. If you fight fear, fear will become stronger. Because in fighting, you give energy to the fear. You give importance to the thing you fight. Look at fear. Look at it carefully. Just as one looks at a cloud in the sky. Just watch, and gradually you will find fear is just a cluster of thoughts. Fear is not a reality. Fear is imagination. This is a very revolutionary thing, because if fear is imagination, then poverty is also imagination. The lack of money outside is a problem, but the excess of fear inside is a disease. A problem can be solved. A disease makes you hollow. Now, you will ask, then what should I do? How will poverty be erased? I say, if you want to erase poverty, then stop that race for money. First, stop the race of fear, because the race for money is the race of fear itself. You are not running after money. You are running away from insecurity. And the man who is running away from insecurity, wherever he reaches, insecurity reaches with him. Let me tell you a story. A man was very poor. Every day he would pray to God, "Oh God, make me rich." One day someone told him, "Hey, a saint lies behind the temple. He has supernatural powers. Ask him." He went to the saint. The saint said, "I give you a bag. The gold in this will never end. But there is one condition. The man's eyes sparkled. He asked, "The condition?" The saint said, "Whatever you take out from this bag will be yours, but remember, never close the bag. If you close it, whatever you have taken out will also turn into ashes." The man took the bag. He ran home. On the first day, he took out a little gold. Happy. On the second day, he took out more and was happier. On the third day, he thought, why not take out even more? Now fear began. If someone snatched it, if it was stolen, if the neighbor found out, if the king found out, he could not sleep. He would sleep pressing the bag to his chest. He would not trust anyone. One day his friend came. The friend asked, "What is the matter? You seem changed," he said. "Nothing," and kept trembling from within. Fear made his life hell. He decided, I will close the bag and make it secure. At night he closed the bag, and in the morning he saw that the gold he had taken out was ashes. Now understand what the bag is. The bag is life. What is gold? Gold is possibilities. And what is closing? Closing is fear. He who closes life with fear, whatever was in his hands, also becomes ashes. Fear creates ashes. Courage creates gold. Now you understand that the greatest treasure within you is not wealth, it is your consciousness. Consciousness means awareness, and an aware man is not poor. Even if an aware man has no money, he still has a dignity. He has an aura. He has a wholeness. And remember, money does not give dignity. Dignity comes from awareness. An aware man can also earn money, but he does not sell himself for money. He uses money, money does not use him. And this is real richness. Now let me show you some forms of fear, and you see how much you are entangled in them. First, the fear of lack. You constantly think there is a lack, and when you think lack, you become lack. The more you think of lack, the more contracted you will become. The thought of lack makes you a miser. Miserliness is not just of money. There is miserliness of love, of time, of cooperation. And a miserly man is poor, even if he has millions. Second, the fear of loss. The fear of losing puts you out of the game, and life is a game. He who is out of the game falls into poverty. Loss is also necessary in life. Without loss, there is no taste of victory. Without loss, there is no learning. But society told you that losing is a shame, so you don't take risks. Therefore, you don't try. That's why you live by suppressing your talent, and a suppressed man dies from inside. Third, what will people say? This is the most dangerous because it does not let you remain the master of your life. You live through the eyes of others. You give the key to your life into the hands of others. And he who does not have the key to his own life is poor. Fourth, the fear of loneliness. You are afraid of being alone. Therefore you get lost in the crowd. Therefore you are afraid of descending within yourself. But descending within is richness. Descending within is meditation. Descending within is the soul. Loneliness is not a flaw. Loneliness is the door to spiritual practice. But you understand loneliness as being alone. Actually, it is solitude, and only in solitude do you find out who you are. And he who knows who he is, then whether he has wealth or not, he is an emperor. And he who does not know who he is a beggar even on a pile of wealth. Now let me tell you something deeper. Your fear is not just in your mind. Your fear has also descended into your body. Because of fear, your breath becomes shallow. Because of fear, your stomach contracts. Because of fear, a weight comes on your chest. Because of fear, your shoulders droop. Because of fear, your eyes do not remain sharp. Because of fear, you tremble deep inside. Fear gradually eats up the energy of your life, and energy is wealth. Remember, the source of wealth is not in money. The source of wealth is in energy. If there is energy, a man makes a way. If there is energy, a man learns. If there is energy, a man changes. If there is energy, a man sees opportunities. If there is energy, a man makes even a crisis a ladder. But fear cuts off the energy. And that is why I say your fear is your poverty. Now, the question is, how to get free from this? I will not give you any sermon. I will not give you any rules. I will not give you any theories. I will give you an experiment, because truth comes from experiment. Tonight when you go to sleep, sit alone in your room, turn off the light, close your eyes and just watch your breath. Do not change anything, just watch. Gradually you will find that the mind will bring thoughts, the mind will bring fear. The mind will say, what will happen tomorrow? Where will money come from? How will bills be paid? What if you do nothing? Just watch. And you will be surprised by watching. The fear will start decreasing. Because fear does not remain by being watched. Fear lives only in unconsciousness. Just as a ghost is seen in the dark, light a lamp, where is the ghost? It was just a shadow. Attention is the light. Fear is the ghost. Gradually the lamp is lit and the ghost vanishes. Then start doing one thing in your life. Whenever fear arises, do not suppress it. Do not deny it. Do not fight it. Just say, come sit, I watch you. Fear will run away because fear weakens by watching. Fear thrives on your unconsciousness. And then I tell you one more thing. In a moment of fear, do a small act of courage. If fear says don't speak this, then speak. If fear says don't learn this, then learn. If fear says don't start this, then start. Small acts of courage gradually make courage a habit, and from the habit of courage, inner richness is born. Listen to the definition of richness when your inner life is in expansion. Expansion is love, expansion is bliss, expansion is fun, expansion is dance, fear is contraction, and contraction is poverty. Now you are thinking, but money is needed in real life. Yes, I do not say that money is not needed. I say money is a need, not a goal. Money is a tool, not the destination. And when you make money the goal, you become poor from inside. You live only in numbers. You live only in comparison. You live only in showing off. And the life of showing off is fake. A fake life cannot be rich. Look at how many people are very successful from the outside but are broken from the inside. They laugh but the laughter is fake. They talk but it's empty inside. They are in a crowd but they are alone. They are in relationships but there is no love. They are under bed but there is no union. They are in the temple but there is no prayer. Why? Because the energy is stuck in fear. Fear has sucked the essence of life from within them. I tell you, if you truly want to be prosperous, there are two ways to prosperity. First, meditation. Second, courage. Meditation will give you the inner sky. Courage will give you the outer flight. And when there is an inner sky and an outer flight, poverty cannot stay. Then, in whatever situation you remain, your consciousness will remain rich. And that is the real property. Because death snatches away money. But consciousness goes even beyond death. You do not die taking money. You do not die taking a position. You do not die taking a house. You die taking only your consciousness. And if your consciousness is filled with fear, you remain poor throughout life. And you remain poor even after death. And if your consciousness is filled with love, filled with courage, filled with awareness, you have found the treasure of life. Let me tell you the last thing and keep it in your heart. Fear takes you into the future. Love brings you into the present. Fear contracts you. Love expands you. Fear makes you a beggar. Love makes you an emperor. Therefore I say, if you want to be rich, do not go to the bank. Go within. If you want to gather wealth, do not wake up in objects. Wake up in consciousness. If you want to be free from poverty, first be free from fear, because your fear is your poverty. And the day you become free from fear, on that day you will truly breathe for the first time. On that day you will truly laugh for the first time. On that day you will truly live for the first time. And he who lives is rich, even if he has nothing. And he who does not live is poor, even if he has everything. Beloved, now I take you even deeper, because talking about fear alone does not complete the matter. One must reach the root of fear. And when you reach the root, you find out that the poverty you considered external was an old habit sitting within, an old conditioning, an old trap. And this trap is very clever. You must have often seen that even when a poor man gets some money, he still remains poor. Why? Because poverty was not in his pocket, it was in his decisions. Poverty was in his way of thinking. Poverty was in the fear within him. Even after getting money, he fears. He does not save the money. He hides behind the money. He does not live with the money. He fears the money. And while fearing, he ends up doing exactly what makes the money go away. This will seem very strange. But I say, fear destroys wealth. Fear cuts off intelligence. Fear does not let one take the right step at the right time. Fear makes you either overly cautious or overly hasty, and both are the grounds for poverty. A frightened man makes two kinds of mistakes. First, he lets go of the opportunity. Second, he mistakes a deception for an opportunity, because there is no clarity in the eye of fear. Fear is mist. Remember, clarity is prosperity and mist is poverty. Now you will ask, why is fear so strong? because fear keeps you on the surface. Fear does not let you go within. Fear cuts you off from the deep source of life, and he who is cut off from the source will remain poor, no matter how much he collects. Now I tell you what the real source of prosperity is. The source of prosperity is your creativity. The ability to create within you is the root of wealth. Money is just a result. That will be the result if you keep the fire within you alive. But what does fear do? Fear kills your creativity. A frightened man never does anything new. A frightened man walks on old lines. He does what everyone else is doing. And he who walks with the cloud gets the fate of the cloud. The life of the cloud is ordinary, and there is no problem in being ordinary if there is bliss in being ordinary. But there is no bliss in your being ordinary because it is not yours, it is borrowed. Your job is borrowed. Your dreams are borrowed. Your goals are borrowed. Your definitions are borrowed. What is rich? What is successful? This too is not yours. Society told you he who has a big car is rich, he who has a big house is rich, he who has many people is rich, he who has a position is rich. Society trapped you in outer decorations, and you also went mad. You have made your life a showroom. You are not living your life, you are showing your life. And the life lived for showing is dead from within. A man dead from within, no matter how much he earns, will remain poor from within. I tell you another deep thing. Fear entangles you in small wins, and small wins deprive you of great prosperity. For example, fear says, grab what is being offered, even if it is against your nature, even if it is against your soul, even if it suppresses the voice within you. You grab it, and gradually you start living a life that is not yours. And in the life that is not yours, the money is also not yours. That money is with you, not within you. And the day a crisis comes, that money does not stand by you. Because in a crisis, your courage is useful. Your clarity, your energy. Money is only a tool. You are the one. Now let me show you another face of poverty. Poverty means your inability to say no. A frightened man cannot say no. He wants to please everyone. He wants to fit in everywhere. He wants validation from every person. And he who lives on validation is a beggar from within. Remember, the greatest prosperity in life is one's freedom. And where does freedom come from? Freedom comes when you can say no without fear, when you can live on your own terms without guilt, when you can listen to your soul without hesitation. But you don't listen because society has frightened you. If you became different, you will be left alone. So you enter the crowd, and in the crowd your soul dies. Soul dead, wealth dead. Because wealth is not just external, wealth is the expansion of inner capacity. Now understand a very important thing. Fear is always born from the thought of less. Fear says, I have less. And when you say, I have less, you flow your energy in that same direction. A vibration of lack is created within you. And in the vibration of lack, whatever effort is made has nervousness in it. And in nervousness, wrong decisions happen. And wrong decisions increase poverty. This is a whole cycle, and this cycle has to be broken. First of all, you just know this, you still have a lot. You have breath. Millions of people long for breath. You have eyes. Millions of people live in darkness. You have hands. Millions of people are disabled. You have time. Millions of people are lying in hospitals. You still have a lot. But your mind is so filled with complaints that you cannot see. Complaint is poverty. Gratitude is prosperity. And I'm not saying this like a poem. This is science. The mind in which there is gratitude opens. The mind that opens, opportunities come to it. The mind that is open learns. The mind that learns changes. The mind that changes rises above. Fear closes the mind, and no new door opens in a closed mind. You have seen that when you fear, your intelligence also decreases. You make the same mistake again and again. You take the same decision again and again. You get trapped in the net of the same people. You curse the same circumstances. Why? Because fear has paralyzed you, and paralysis is poverty. Now listen, you think poverty is an external situation. I say poverty is an internal situation, and as soon as the internal situation changes, the external situation starts changing. But you do the opposite. You say, first let money come, then I will be peaceful. First let success be found, then I will meditate. First let everything be okay, then I will be happy. This is the biggest deception, because only a peaceful man can create wealth in the right way. Only an unaware man can recognize an opportunity. Only a blissful man can create. Success does not give happiness. Happiness gives birth to success. Wealth does not give peace. Peace gives birth to wealth. Because peace centers you, and a centered man has magnetism. Opportunities come only to him who is at the center. You are scattered because of fear. Now I give you a very beautiful parable so that it sinks within you. There was a farmer. Every year he used to cry, it doesn't rain, I am poor. Every year he would say, my luck is bad. Every year he would blame others. One year he saw his neighbor growing good fruit in the same land. He asked, "How is it happening in your field?" The neighbor said, "I don't wait for the rain. I collect water. I prepare the soil. I choose good seeds. I work hard every day and I don't complain. I prepare." The farmer got angry because a person who prepares stings the one who complains. Fear gives birth to complaint and courage to preparation. Now understand what you are. Complaint to preparation? A poor man is a complaint. A rich man is a preparation. And what is preparation? Preparation is to awaken the energy within you. Preparation is trust in your own capacity. Preparation is a step despite the fear. Now I give you some very solid formulas, but do not make them rules. Make them an experiment. Whenever fear arises within you, do 3 things. First, stop. Second, watch your breath. Third, say clearly, this is fear, not truth, just this much. And gradually you will see fear comes, goes, and you remain. Remember, fear is not your nature. Fear is your guest, and you have made the guest the master. Now the second formula, every day in life, do one thing that scares you a little, not something very big, just small. Telling the truth to someone, learning something new, taking a new step, saying what's on your mind, deciding your value, making your boundary, small steps against fear bring revolution. Because the strength of fear is your habit. And a habit can be changed only by a new habit. Now the third formula, with what kind of people do you live? This is very important. Fear is contagious. The mind of poverty is contagious. People who cry all the time, blame all the time, complain all the time, get away from them. I'm not saying hate them. No, have compassion for them. But if you live with them, their darkness will catch you too. You need the company of light. You need the company of courageous people. You need people who say, it will happen. Company is a great secret. Now the fourth formula, and you consider this the golden formula of life. Instead of focusing on what you have, focus on what more you can become. Because wealth is an object and you are consciousness. Objects are limited. Consciousness is infinite. Do not define yourself in objects. You say, I have less right now, but I am not less. My situation is small right now, but my possibility is vast. I have struggle right now, but I have power within. Change this language, because language is not just words. Language is your direction. The man whose language is, I am weak, it can't be done, he breaks. The man whose language is, I am learning, it will be done, he starts rising. Now I tell you the final secret of richness. Richness means being in trust with life, and poverty means being in fear against life. You consider life an enemy. You think life will bring you down, life will deceive you, life will defeat you, so you live in defense. And a man living in defense can never attack, meaning he can never be creative, never be an entrepreneur, never lead, never descend into love. A man living in defense is half, and half man is poor. Now listen, I want to show you the last layer of fear. That layer is the fear of death. Yes, the talk was about money, but the root is in death. You cling to money because from money you feel I am safe, and safety means I am escaping death. But has anyone escaped death? Death will come. So the question is not whether death will come or not. The question is whether you will live or not. And to live, courage is needed. The day you accept death, on that day, a big part of fear falls away. Then you say, whatever will happen, will happen. I will live fully. And he who lives fully is prosperous. Now I give you a small meditation technique. You can do it every day, and your mind will gradually start becoming empty of fear. When you are alone, sitting quietly, close your eyes. Watch the breath go in. Watch the breath go out. And within, experience this, I am not the body, I am not the thoughts, I am not the fear. I am that consciousness which is watching everything, just this. These are not small sentences, these are arrows. These will gradually cut the veil of fear. And as fear is cut, you would be surprised. Energy will start returning within you. When energy returns, your decisions will change. When decisions change, your direction will change. When the direction changes, your condition will change. And then you will know that poverty was not a fate. Poverty was a sleep. Fear was sleep and meditation is awakening. I want to tell you this in the end. When you wake up in the morning, say one sentence to yourself and then remember it throughout the day. I will not move by fear. Just this. Even if you fall, it's okay. Even if you lose, it's okay. But do not move by fear. Because moving by fear means you have already lost. And moving with courage means you are in the direction of victory, even if the results haven't come yet. Life is not a result. Life is a journey. And the day you start loving the journey, on that day you become free from poverty, because poverty is the worry of the result and prosperity is the celebration of the journey. So I tell you, do not fear. Even if there is hunger, do not fear. Even if there is lack, do not fear. Even if there is failure, do not fear. Even if people don't understand, do not fear. Nothing changes by fearing. By fearing, only you break. And a broken man, no matter what he has, he is poor. And he who does not break, who stands tall within, who holds on to the breath, who saves his consciousness, he is the real rich man. And when you become rich from within, the outside world also gradually starts coming into harmony with you, because the outside world is the echo of the inside. You leave fear, poverty will start leaving, and one day you will laugh and you will say, I was not poor at all, I was just afraid. And that day will be the day of your liberation.